Okay, I don't think there is such thing as the optimal training program or the best optimal routine for building muscle. And the reason that I believe that is because adapting your training as you go, I've found to be much more beneficial in terms of muscle gain. So if you lock into one way, this is the way to train. Under this structure, under this scheme, whatever it is, these exercises, this many reps, this amount of rest, blah, blah, blah. This is the way to do it. If you start thinking like that, even if it is optimal for you at that point in time, your body will adapt to that stress and stimulus that you put on it by building more muscle. So it will work in the beginning if it's an effective training protocol. But then it's inevitable that you're going to slide into another plateau if you just keep doing the exact same thing. So what I've seen to be very pronounced in my muscle building journey is that there are many effective ways to train. And as long as you're consistent, you push hard, there's going to be a bunch of different approaches of what rep range, how many days off should you take, how many sets, how long should you rest in between exercises, what tempo should you use, what range of motion. There's some nuance in there of certain things I've personally found to be more effective than others. But the takeaway theme is that no matter what you do, even if it's working really well, it doesn't continue to work well for a long period of time. So for example, if you're doing let's say you always do 8 sets for your chest. You go in there, you do a couple sets of dumbbell bench, you do some flies, you do some barbell incline, you get out of there. That may be effective in the beginning, but then you're making an argument to your body saying, hey, I want you to add more muscle to my frame. And if your argument is good, your body will do that. But then you need to make an additional argument for it to add more. So if you just keep doing the same thing, your body's not going to continue to consistently add more muscle. So you need to make the stimulus or the argument better as you go. So if you're always doing 8 sets for 6 months, 3 months or something, it might work well, but then your body has adapted to that stimulus, put the muscle on, that training style modality, the effort that you're putting in is going to lead to, and now you're just in a plateau maintaining. You need to do something more. You need to add more sets. You need to do more weight. You need to change the rep range. You need to change the rest time. You maybe need to train more often, change your frequency, whatever. You need to do something to increase the demand, to increase the stress and the stimulus that your workouts put on your body to make a better argument for it to add more muscle, right? So I've seen that way of thinking about it to be way more effective than what is the one right way to train? What is the best modality? What is optimal? Even if something is optimal at a certain point in time for you, eventually your body will adapt and you'll slide into a plateau again. And if you're married to that ideology saying this is the way to train, then you're fucked and you're just going to stay maintaining your gains. I think you're better off to absorb as much information from different sources as you can, experiment, and then continuously find ways to adapt and evolve your training to try and make more and more progress. And the longer you're in it, the harder and harder it gets. But the only chance you have of continuing to make progress is if you don't lock in to one modality. That's been my personal experience. And every time I switch up my routine and I change this variable or that, I add more sets, I change the weight, I change the rest times, I start training more often or whatever it is, some of the time it leads to additional muscle growth. And I'll go, wow, I found something good here. And for the next month, 2 months, I see some progress. And I stay in that routine, that new way of training, and I just keep doing that. And then month 3, month 4 comes along, I'm in another plateau and I'm back to maintenance. Now I got to level it up again. I need to add more sets. I need to change the tempo again. I need to do more drop sets. I need to do different rest times. I need to do something different. And usually something that makes the training more difficult, more demanding on the body. That's what I've seen to be the most predictive of muscle growth in the long run. So if you're looking for an optimal training routine, you may be able to find it for a fixed period of time. And then that's not the end of the answer. If you really want this shit and you're really into it, you need to adapt and evolve and make that training harder and level it up further and further if you want your body to continue to respond by adding more muscle. So I hope that helps you think about your training routine, make sense of all this talk about optimal training and this and that and all the arguments and whatever. As long as you get in there and push yourself and stay consistent, you'll make good progress. But evolving and adapting your training and experimenting on yourself and continuously leveling it up, I think, is how you can continue to see progress and reach higher and higher levels. Get out there and make some gains. Peace.